everyone talks about us, not us, talks about me throwing it too much in the Super Bowl with the Falcons. But we ran it more in the first. I mean, we ran it more in the second half than we did in the first half. It was about not having the ball. But I will say, I sat there so long and watched Tom Brady just pick us apart and go 34, 36 or whatever he did. And I remember saying, if we get this ball back, I'm not waiting. We got to go. And we hit this big, Julio caught that huge
oh my God,
play
on the sidelines
where it was just like, oh my God, Julio is unstoppable. And we ran the ball and it got to 2nd and 10. The last time I was down there, it was 2nd and 10. I ran the ball and they stopped us and got us to 3rd and 11. Yet we also had a holding call on it and it knocked us back out of field goal range. So we threw it to Julio. He caught that. I ran it the next play, got to 2nd and 10. And I was like, I'm going right to Julio. And I called a play to totally go to Julio. Right when we snapped it, the coverage took it away. So it was the wrong call. And I wish we didn't take a sack, but no one was open and we ended up taking a sack. And right then I was like, oh my God, why did I just try to end it? Like, and that got at me because it was like, I knew because it was a buildup for an hour of watching Tom. But I'm like, man, I just tried to end it. I think I was thinking right, because who the hell is not going to Julio Jones right now? And oh my God, now we're not. And I got to throw the ball to get back to field goal range. And so the next play I threw the ball. It was a 5-yard out to Mohamed Sanu, caught it, turned up the field for a 12-yard gain, back in field goal range, but they called a holding on our left tackle on Jake Matthews on Chris Long, which wasn't even close to the holding that happened on every 3rd down in the Super Bowl that 2 years later. But it got called that day. So I had to deal with it. And then you got to live with it your rest of your life. And it's just, those are the things. And you don't get a chance. Like, it's not like,
no, and Kyle, you can't always answer and be like,
but it comes down to one play. And
yeah,
that's what I've always said. Like, yeah, I wish I called a different call on that one play.
And Sean,
I don't want to go to the final everything. You're down, you get into 2 minutes, you throw the ball 6 plays straight, but like that one right there.
Yeah, but see,
I think it would have been different.
But you know what though? Here's the thing though. In that sequence, what nobody talks enough about was what you just said on 3rd down, where you throw a quick choice route to Sanu, which is the right call. We kick a field goal. Game's probably over if we don't get the holding call. And like the one thing that I would say as well is like part of what is what I think gives us the ability to be good at what we do is we're playing to win games instead of afraid to lose it. And that's a mindset that's true to who you are. It didn't work out. Like, I love how, whether you agree or disagree, everybody wants to talk about, when they end up throwing it with it's Seattle versus the Patriots. Well, what nobody wants to talk about is they go goal line defense. You're going to have an unblocked defender at the point of attack. Could Marshawn Lynch run the guy over? Yeah, maybe so. But also, you know what's a much more sound? Let's run a 2-man pick rub versus a 0 coverage. And that's a high percentage, and that's a smart design right there. It just didn't work out in terms of the execution and how it plays out. But I love how it's always the revisionist history. But to your point, Kyle, the thought process is sound. And that's where it's like, hey, as a play caller, we've got to sacrifice sometimes the results for a sound thinking.